this is gonna be a little bit hard to share. It's time to really face ourselves, like how much we dislike ourselves sometimes. Hey guys, welcome back to this space. In today's video, we are going to discuss how to overcome self-hatred, and I'm going to share 3 main reflections from my experience dealing with psoriasis for the past 13 to 14 years, and I'm going to share the steps that I took to overcome it. If you don't know me, my name is Roy. I am a psoriasis advocate from Malaysia, and I'm the creator of Safe Space as well as So Good. So I realized that, and I am aware that the topic of self-love has been going on around for a while now, but I think one of the very important realizations in order to achieve self-love is that we have to be honest with ourselves. Sometimes that we really don't like ourselves, or in other terms, we put it as self-hatred. Now, what is self-hatred? Basically, self-hatred is an extremely destructive type of coping mechanism in order to deal with how we think of ourselves and how we perceive ourselves. Now, self-hatred often goes hand in hand with depression, self-sabotage behavior, as well as even suicidal thoughts. And in my opinion, it is definitely something that has to be taken seriously of, and it's time to really face ourselves, like how much we dislike ourselves sometimes. So throughout these 13 years of my journey dealing with psoriasis, I actually realized that I really hate myself or dislike myself in many ways, and it shows up in a lot of situations. And here are the 3 main reflections that I managed to come up with for you guys. So first and foremost, the first reflection that I have is that I realized that I have been judging myself for being different. So like dealing with psoriasis, visually it is already very different, and there are a lot of things in our lives that we have to change just because of this condition. And like I see the way that my normal healthy friend live their lifestyle, their jobs, and the way that they seek pleasures in life is very different from mine, and the normal that many people have seems very unattainable for me. So personally, I have been very passionate about dancing since the age of 14, and that was also the age where I got diagnosed with psoriasis. And because of that, I kind of like just stopped dancing because I felt too shameful to put myself out there just to dance and have fun. To be honest, like when I recall back, I wish that I could have done more, but yeah, that was just the real struggle of dealing with psoriasis during the teenager years. So other than that, I also realized that I can't really get like a 9-to-5 job. And like when I was younger, when I first graduated from university, getting a stable 9-to-5 job that pays well was one of my main goals, because of course, like when you graduated from universities, that's the only thing you want to do, right? You want to earn money. I feel like I wasn't able to do all these things, and this form of accumulated dissatisfactions kind of eventually become hatred because I judge myself for not being able to do all these things that normal people can do. And even like I realized that, you know, all these things are actually out of my control. So second reflection is that I gotta admit, sometimes, I mean most of the time, I constantly think that I am not good enough. So this shows up a lot when I am in a relationship. This is gonna be a little bit hard to share, but yeah, I'm just gonna put it out there. So whenever I enter a new relationship, I realize that I become an entirely different person. I become very submissive, and I tend to compromise a lot, and I tend to string myself just for the comfort of other people, even though sometimes I feel like I compromise too much. And because I believe that in order for somebody to love me for who I am is already a very hard thing to do. And sometimes the form of self-hatred can be so intense that I actually perceive myself as undesirable, and I think sometimes I also consciously run away from all the good things in life because I don't think that I deserve it. And I think I took a while to learn this as well, but I used to have a lot of problems receiving compliments, like genuinely believe what people say about me. So yeah. So the third main reflection is that I realized that I constantly struggle with negative self-talk, and like there's this voice inside my head that is constantly telling me that the things that I do doesn't matter, or even just as simple as recording this video, making this video out for you guys. I also question myself, like, who am I to talk about all these things? Like, do I even have the credibility or the qualifications to talk about all these things that is so important and so many people out there are dealing with? And you know, I try to not let all this negative self-talk stop me. So here I am trying my best to be myself and to put out content that perhaps that is able to help some people out there. So all the reflections that I've just shared, I'm pretty sure you guys are able to relate with it as well. I just want to tell you guys, you're not alone, you're not an alien for, or like, don't feel like a loser for feeling all these things. It is just a very normal thing to deal with when you are dealing with a chronic condition or even psoriasis that is very, very visual. So yeah, I'm going to share 3 simple steps that I have been taking just to overcome this self-hatred kind of thinking. I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm not saying these are the solutions, but I feel like all these simple steps that I've slowly taken over the years have really helped me to anchor myself and remind myself that, you know, I am actually not that bad. So here goes. The first step that I would really suggest you to do is to stop judging yourself. So like, we have to understand judgment actually creates self-hatred, and more often than not, judgments are very irrational and they actually change over time. And to be honest, judgments, right, they are actually a bunch of nonsense that we created in our head. And like, please stop blaming yourself for having an illness that you cannot control. To be honest, chronic illness actually enriches our lives in so many ways, and it allows us to see life in a different perspective and a different light. We tend to have the ability to appreciate the simplest things in life. It also forces us to become a more mature and resilient person. The second very effective step that I've learned to take over the years is to really count our blessings. And I think counting our blessings actually put focus on what's actually great in our life. You know, something as simple as having roof over our head and like having food on the table, having friends and family around us that care about us. I think these are the things that make us feel fulfilled. Appreciate yourself for how much you have grown and how much you're able to grow for the days to come. And the third step is to really start to be your own cheerleader. Like, you know, like whenever all this negative self-talk happening in your head, I think awareness is the very, very first step, like being aware of it and slowly change the narrative in your head. So like, instead of focusing on our past mistakes as well as all those like shameful experiences, it's important to learn how to focus on our potential and the kind of future that we envision for ourselves, and slowly taking small steps in order to reach it. Although I have to mention, changing this narrative in the head is not easy, it's not a one-day thing. I really want you to take it slowly. Don't expect yourself to change overnight. It's impossible. I guess that's it. I hope all the tips that I've shared actually helped you. I would also want to remind you that self-hatred is actually a very normal thing, even for people who don't have any chronic conditions. So please don't judge yourself or blame yourself for doing that to yourself. Whatever it is that you're going through, you're not alone. Please don't be ashamed of it. Please don't be ashamed of your journey and your story and your experiences. They are valid. And I am right here fighting with you guys, striving for a better tomorrow. And remember, the possibilities of tomorrows are endless, and please don't give up. I am right here with you guys. So I will see you in the next one. Take care and see you. Mwah.